espouses certain philosophies doesn't mean that people do.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you saying happens in Greece though? How is that reverting?
I mean, you go to anywhere in Europe where you've got a different ethnic group, and that
Like a gypsy group or something?
yeah,
Yep.
and that suburb or that area will start to match where that people came from.
Yep, yep.
Because they have the same philosophy,
Yeah, well,
basically. The same way of living.
but they were living under the same state.
Yeah, but they've got a different philosophy.
Yeah, well, my argument is it's not philosophy. They could adopt the same principle.
Culture.
It's people.
No,
the difference in the
I
people.
don't believe it's culture. I believe it's a person's psychology. I think culture's a creation of those people.
Yeah.
So
Because you mean
you can enforce that culture. You can go to Iraq and say, okay, you're going to have democracy, you're going to have liberal ideas. You can give them everything, but they won't maintain it because they're Arabs. Look what happened in Libya, in Egypt. They had a democratic revolution, and who got in? Islamic extremists. No matter how hard they try, they'll never be able to get there because it's different people. Because of those people, they're going to create a different cultural outcome.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why certain religions
But at
take
one
off.
stage, the Turks controlled the world.
They did. Yeah.
So, did the people that ruled Turkey at that time move to America?
No.
So, if
The Turks control the world, but it doesn't mean anything. It just means they were able to
so
military
America
conquer.
controls the world now,
Yeah. What of it?
English controlled the world 200 years ago.
Well, I'm not talking about whether a country conquers the world. I'm saying that the way a country is going to be, socio-economically, is dependent, and culturally is dependent upon the people. You change the people, and the socio-economic conditions and the culture will change. No matter how you can't. I don't believe you can give somebody a book and say, okay, these are all the documents from our civilization. You'll adopt it.
But you
It's
can't
never
write
happened
a
in
book.
tribal warfare in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard they've tried, they've replicated the culture. And people keep saying, oh, you know, we're not pushing the culture hard enough. We're not
Or
pushing
that they
the
started
culture
with a
hard
social economic
But I don't
disadvantage, but you're
believe
saying
it's
there's more of a
I believe it's
of
the
a
actual
personal
psychology
influence.
of the person. It's genetics. That's the culture they create. Alexander the Great, his purpose was to try and breed culture everywhere. And he conquered the known world to try and do that. Everyone that's tried to do that has failed. Surely there's a lesson there to be learned.
I
That
believe
imposing a
you can
culture...
do much more conquering with ideas than you can with military force.
Yeah, but even that's never worked.
It has.
in some ways the system and
China's a good example. They've dropped communism, gone to capitalism. Their version of capitalism is very eerily similar to their version of communism. And their version of communism is eerily similar to the system they had before it.
To me, the Chinese basically live in a monarchy.
Yeah.
It's a monarchy, basically.
But you have to ask, why did communism fall in the West and continue in Japan, in China, and then metamorphosize into capitalism, which is essentially communism, but instead of the government running everything, capitalists run everything.
It's an authoritarian form of
Yeah,
capitalism.
but why does that happen?
One of the reasons...
What about Eastern Europeans? What about their
Yeah, but
communism?
communism fell there. It didn't fall in China. It strengthened. In Eastern Europe, they tried so hard to keep it going, and they just couldn't.
But they need communism in China, because there's just too many people.